Alright, let's finish these picks off for week 5. We already had the Cardinals 49ers Thursday night game, which I went with the Cardinals, so I was right on that. But let's get this started. We got the Patriots facing the Browns, where we all know it's the big return of Tom Brady back to the Patriots, and the Patriots coming off their first loss of the season, actually being shut out at home by the division rival Buffalo Bills. But with Brady coming back, I think things will be settled down and the defense will settle down and the rest of the team will have the confidence that they need to be able to move forward in the season and within this game against the Cleveland Browns, which is a whole nother thing. The Browns, I think they have a good running back with Isaiah Crowell. Um, they have a dynamic player in Terrell Pryor, but they're struggling at the quarterback position. Even though the rookie Cody Kessler, he looked a little bit better um, last week, but against the Patriots, I think it's going to be a tough matchup for them. He looked better, but they still lost to the Texans last week. So I look for the Patriots to take this one. The Eagles coming off a bye week, and they will be playing the Detroit Lions in Detroit. And Carson Wentz has looked great. That front line of the Eagles defense has looked great as well. But this is going to be my upset pick of the week, as I will pick the Lions to beat the Eagles. And I think that the Lions being at home, I think they'll put one game together, and I think it'll be this game, and they'll be able to get maybe some pressure on Carson Wentz, force a turnover. Their defense is going to have to win this game for them, um, and they'll have to control the ball a little bit more by running the ball and being able to convert third downs. But I'm going to go with the Lions as my upset pick. Um, Next game is the Bears and the Colts. The Bears coming off of a victory over the Detroit Lions that I just talked about last week, and the Colts suffering another loss to the division rivals, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So um, the Bears, they looked a lot better last week, beating the Lions. Their defense played well, even though they had some injuries. Um, they were able to move the ball on offense enough. They ran the ball well, and that's the important thing. And they're gonna have to pretty much, establish the the run game against the Colts, who have struggled against the run. But the thing that might help the Colts in this game is if they can establish a run game on the Chicago Bears with Frank Gore and open up the field a little bit better for I was gonna say Aaron Rodgers, for Andrew Luck. Um, so I'm gonna pick the Colts at home. The Titans versus the Dolphins. Uh, the Titans, last week they lost to the Texans, their division team, is what the division rivals, and the Titans, they play well every week. They play not so bad every week, but then they make a lot of mistakes, and they do have a running game with DeMarco Murray, and they even throw the ball to him as well, and he's having a pretty decent year. Mariota still makes mistakes at times, but I think in this game they will have enough to beat the Dolphins, who were just spanked last Thursday night game against the Bengals and really looked poorly. So they'll come back, but I got the Titans winning this one on the road. Then we go down to Baltimore, as the Redskins will play their cross-state rivals, the Ravens, and the Redskins, coming off of a victory against the Browns. Um, they struggled here and there against the Browns. They're still struggling to stop the run. They're still struggling even in the passing game. Norman is playing halfway decent. He's getting beat sometimes, but he's also still making plays. And Kirk Cousins is starting to get a better feel, but they're still not the same offense that they had last year. They're not running the ball well. They did run the ball well last week. So let's see if they can put 2 weeks of that together. I think they're more of a passing offense than a running offense. So we'll see how that goes against the Ravens defense, who's played well. And the Ravens, suffered their first loss last week against the Raiders at home. So the Ravens will be coming to bounce back, and I'm going to go with the Ravens in this game. And I think their defense will be enough to stop the run, and they will cause some turnovers from Kirk Cousins. And I think the running game and Flacco should be able to move the ball on that defense. Probably run the ball, which will set up some play action for Flacco. So I'll go with the Ravens. Next game up, we got the Texans versus the Vikings. Texans, as I've already said, they defeated the Titans at home, but now they go on the road and play an undefeated Vikings team um, that's really playing well. Their defense, I think, will really put the clamps on the Texans' offense, like we saw happen to them against the Patriots. And the Vikings will be able to run the ball, dominate the clock, and I think they'll win this game. Um, then you have the Jets going to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Jets are really in shambles right now, but the players seem to want to rally around Fitzpatrick, um, who has not played well. Has, I think, double-digit interceptions this year. He has 10 interceptions. Um, they still have weapons though, even though I believe Eric Decker will be out for this game, but they still have Brandon Marshall and some other um, receivers that they can get the ball to. But I think the Steelers are on a roll. They had the big win coming back last week, destroying the Chiefs at home, and I think this will be another game where they'll get up early on the Jets, and it'll end up being a blowout. And that'll force Fitzpatrick and he'll to throw a lot, and he'll turn the ball over. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers. Next game, the Falcons and the Broncos. Falcons coming off of a victory against the Panthers, which was a big win for them, division rival. And now they travel to play the other Super Bowl team from last year. The winners, though, the Broncos in Denver, high altitude, and that Denver defense is playing lights out. And from what I'm hearing, if it's true, Paxton Lynch will make his first start for the Broncos. I think either way, you know, because of Simeon, he was hurt last week. He got hurt in the game last week as they defeated the Buccaneers on the road. So we'll see Paxton Lynch and see how he does. He looked like he played well last week, and we'll see how he comes out against the Falcons and what the Falcons will have prepared for him on defense. And next game is the Bengals versus the Cowboys, which is a big game. Um, both teams, I think we have two good teams here. They're pretty similar in a lot of ways, and it's going to be the defense that's going to win this game. The defense will have to come up with some stops, and I think the Cowboys defense will step up and get some stops against this Bengals offense, who just came off a big win um, last week against the Dolphins. Cowboys had a nice come from behind victory against the 49ers. So I think we'll have a great game, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys to win this game as long as Dak Prescott doesn't make any mistakes, which he hasn't all year. And if they can still establish a run game on the Bengals, they'll be able to control the clock and they'll be able to pull this game off. It won't be a blowout, but it'll be a close one. Another big game, the Bills and the Rams. Um, Bills, they shut out the Patriots last week. The Rams are not getting any respect as they lead their division. They're 3-1, and they play the Bills. This is another good team this year, and this is going to be a defensive battle between the Bills and the Rams. Bills have great defense. They also have an offense that can score now with playmakers like McCoy, and then Tyrod Taylor is always a threat because he's a dual quarterback where he can run and throw. Um, you got the Rams who are really trying to get things going on offense, and we've seen better play from the quarterback position for them. Um, we still have not seen Todd Gurley break out. I'm not sure if this is the game he will break out against the Bills defense, but the Rams have a great front line on their defense, and it's going to be a defensive battle because of that. And I see the Rams to pull off a low scoring, probably a lot of field goals game, but we'll see how that turns out. The Chargers versus the Raiders. The Chargers, off of a loss to the Saints, Drew Brees comes back to San Diego, gets the victory over Phillip Rivers and the Chargers last week. Very disappointing. Um, and now they have to go and play their division rivals, the Raiders, who are riding high after defeating the Ravens. Um, I look to see Phillip Rivers throw the ball a lot. I think they should run the ball to Melvin Gordon a little bit more, let him get more into the offense, and then work off some play action with Phillip Rivers. I think they throw too many times at the end of games when they have leads, which they had a lead last week and blew it, like they've done in other games this year already. And they need to really establish a run game. The Raiders have established enough of a run game to balance out their passing attack because they're more of a passing attack, and I think this game will be a shootout. But I think the Raiders defense will come up with some turnovers and be able to defeat the Chargers. The Giants and the Packers. We have the Giants who are really in shambles right now with all of the mess with Odell Beckham and Eli and all the talk going on. Now, in previous times when it was Tom Coughlin, we knew the Giants would be able to rally in a lot of these situations, and they always did. We don't know what this team will do right now, what the mind state of this team, if they're gelling, if there's some kind of separation in the locker room. But we'll find out against the Packers in Green Bay, which is not a place you want to go if you're not united as a front. So the Giants will come out playing. They seem to struggle on offense because they don't really have a run game that they can establish or that people respect, but they do have a passing attack. But if you're one dimensional, teams can play you and really hold you and keep you out from scoring. And that's what happens to the Giants on offense. Um, their defense, the front line, has not played up to par. They've played decent, but for the money that everybody knows about, that they spent to get these guys in the front line, they have not played up to par. And they've given up a lot more yards than they should, and I think. And now you got Aaron Rodgers and the Packers coming in who can run the ball and throw the ball. And their defense is decent, so they're still going to give Eli and that offense some trouble. And I'm going to go with the Packers in Green Bay. The Monday night game, the Buccaneers versus the Panthers. The Panthers will be without Cam Newton, who got hurt last week, even though Derek Anderson came in and he played really well. He did throw an interception to end the game for him, but he played well. So let's see if they can rally around him because they need as many victories as they can possibly get right now. They got a Buccaneers team that's young, still needs some more time for growth and improvement. Jameis Winston, I think, is a very good young quarterback. He's going through some of his sophomore slump right now, but he's still playing decent enough to see the potential of why he was drafted first overall. Um, so I think they'll come down there and really shock the Panthers, and I think the Buccaneers will beat the Panthers. And the Panthers cut one of their corners. I don't know who's going to be playing corner. It's not a good matchup when you got Mike Evans and those guys coming in and a pass-happy offense that the Buccaneers run with. So I'm going with the Bucks. And that's my picks for Week 5. Let me know what y'all think.